Today we're going to take a look at making word books, and here's an example of what one might look like. This is for my son James, and here's another one for my son Ben. And both of these are made on a 12 by 12 page size, and this one happens to have a grid on it where James didn't. It doesn't really matter. So let's get started. Here's what my blank document looks like, and this is what I've set to my default. It's a 12 by 12 page with a grid with lines every quarter inch, and that just kind of is helpful for me. You can set it up however you want. If you want to know how to set this up as your default, go ahead and take a look at the blog. There's a tutorial for that found there. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to make a book, and I'm going to call, or I'm going to use the word baby for this book. So I'm going to start with text, so I'm going to look at my create and edit text here, and I'm just going to make some letters. So B, A, that's not an A, B, Y. These are the letters I need. I'm going to go back to my select tool, or you can just push Control V. So here's all my letters, and I want to make it a little bit bigger just to make it easier for me to work with. Honestly, it doesn't matter because vectors are vector graphics like this are scalable, but I'm going to just make it bigger for my own sanity here. So I'm going to go up to the text tool at the top, which brings up the text and font window. I'm going to change the font size to 250 on all of these, and I'm going to apply it. So now you can see that everything's at 250, so I can go ahead and close this out. Also, just for my own sanity, I'm going to line these up. Doesn't really matter, I'm going to move them around later. But just for now, I selected my Align tool up here at the top, and it opens up my window off to the side. I'm going to align them by their centers, and then I'm also going to distribute them by their centers, just because I can. So here is my word baby. This is the font that I wanted to use. This happens to be Tan Patty. You can use whatever font you want. It helps for the font to be a little bit chunkier, just so it has some presence on the chipboard. So here I'm going to copy and paste these letters. They're all selected. You can see there's little bounding boxes around it. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. And I'm going to move one set off to the side. This is going to be the letters that are on top. So if I go to open up James's book again here, just so you can see it, you're going to see that there's the card or the chipboard back, and then there's going to be the letters on top. So these letters on top, okay, that's what I just made, and I moved those off to the side. So now I'm going to work on the back part, the chipboard part, and I'm just going to work on the first B to show you how I do this. Okay, first I'm going to need to make a little box that's going to be the page. Let me show you here. See this box part? And then the J kind of wraps up around it. And in fact, before I do any of that, what I should do with all of these letters is make them a little bit bigger, because I like for it to have kind of a border around the other letters. So I go up here to Path and then Outset. And I'm going to do that 3 times. I've found that with this font, I like it to be outset like that. Here, I'm going to change the color just so you can see what that did. If I bring this Y back over the top, you can see that it leaves some space around it because I outset it. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to take this B back up, and I'm going to make the rectangular block part of this chipboard page. And to do that, I use the Bezier tool, which is this pen tool off to the side. I select that, and make sure that your straight line option is selected here. And I'm just going to start, I'm going to say maybe here, and I'll maybe just make it an inch to start with, and I'm just going to use my grids as a guide, and it's going to snap to that corner to make it nice and straight. Alright, so there's my box. I'm going to select my move tool, and I'm going to move this B over so it overlaps to where I want it to go. And you can use your arrow keys on the keyboard, or you can use your mouse. And I'm going to zoom in just so I can see what I'm doing, and to do that I'm going to hit Control and then scroll with my scroll on my mouse, and that lets me zoom in. So you can see here how I'm lining up my B with my page. and it overlaps. If I change the color of the bee, you can see a little bit better. This is actually going behind my box. If you want to move anything up or down, you can just go up to Object and Raise. You can see now the bee's on top. So you can see how it overlaps this box by just a little bit. And that's fine. I'm going to combine these together into one shape so it all cuts out. And before I do that, I need to change this bee to a path. Right now it's a font, and I can still edit it as a font and type with it and everything. I want to change it to a path, which means it's going to change the outside outline of it to a mathematical equation. So here's how you do it. You go to Path, Object to Path. And now if you choose this second tool, the nodes, you can see that there are little dots all the way. They're actually squares that are the points where there is an equation or part of this algorithm. So if you select one, you can see there. I'm going to delete these inside ones because I don't want a hole in my chipboard page. So I'm just going to select them and delete. And then just select all of them and delete. Make sure that you select all of them. Don't leave just one hanging here because that's just a random path that you don't need. So I'm going to delete it. So now you can see this is just a bee. It's an outline of a bee and it's a path. Back to my select tool. I'm going to select both of these shapes, the square that I created and the bee. And I'm going to go up to Path and I'm going to Union, which means I'm going to combine them together. So now they are one shape. If you go back to your nodes, you can see the ones that used to be coming down here are no longer there because that's no longer a path that you're cutting. Let me show it to you a different way. I'm going to Control Z, so undo that. So you can see your nodes right there. They don't exist anymore. If you go to View, Display Mode, Outline, you can see where the Cricut would cut. It would cut all along here, and then it would also cut all the way around this shape. But I don't want that. So again, remember what I did? I selected both of them. They're both paths, and I went Path, Union. And now you can see where the Cricut's going to cut, just all the way around, but not on the inside. That's what we want. Now I'm going to go back to View, Display Mode, Normal, because I like to see the color fill in. It kind of helps me out. So far we've made this bee, and if you want to see, Control and then scroll out, we can see what it's going to look like with this on top. And in fact, I'm going to move it to the top. Remember how we do that? We go to Object, Raise to Top. Alright, so you can see, I'm using my keyboard to just kind of align it here, that's what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to change that color because I can. Let's make it, oh, I don't know, a light color. So there's a sample of what my first chipboard page is going to look like. Just to keep these videos short, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Come back because there's going to be some tricks you're going to want to know about dealing with the letter A, and then some of the other things we're going to do here. So hopefully that gave you a couple things to look at, a little introduction into paths and drawing with the Bezier tool and creating outlines for the Cricut. Join me in the next video and we'll keep going with this project.